Hello there everyone. So this is the last video in our programming tutorial. I'm here to show you a simple program that uses all you have learned in our previous tutorials. So as always, let's start our program by opening our NetBeans and then create a public class. And after which, we can create our a basic layout for our program in order to avoid errors and to simplify our codes, as we can add more as we go on. I will be fast forwarding the video, so feel free to pause the video in order to keep up. So we shall start our program by creating a JOption pane in order to input and output our data, and also save our data. After we have created the necessary components in order to input and output and save our data, we can start creating an if statement with a try and catch command in order to connect to the database. After we have created the basic layout in our program, let's head on to our command prompt and then log in and enter MySQL to create a database. Now that we have created our database, we can now connect our database to our program. And after we have our connection, we can now import all the necessary commands like java.sql dot connections, driver manager, and prepared statement. So in our try command, we can create a connection. Let's give it a name dbcon, and it needs to be equal to null. And then add the necessary strings, the driver URL, and the user and password. After which we can enter the value of each of the strings. So you can find the value of the driver and URL in the properties of the connection. And after which we can create a driver manager connection and add our URL, user, and our password. And after which we can now insert our data. Make sure that you can follow the command exactly. So make sure that when you're using the input command in the quotation, make sure that after the insert into, you should write the name of the table you have created in your database. And then at the parentheses, you can add the name of the columns, and then after which the value of the columns are assigned the question marks. So the number of columns is always equal to the number of question marks. So after which we should create our prepared statement. In order to arrange our values. So as you can see here, after I created the database, there is an error about the parameter index out of range. It's stating that there were 2 parameters and I only added 1. So it took me a while to understand what I did wrong. But after the multiple trials and errors, I realized that the that I added a prepared statement value 1 as the ID, but forgot to add the ID in the insert query command. So make sure that the number of prepared statements the parameters of your prepared statements are equal to the number of columns and values in order to prevent this error. So after there are so after that after all that, we can now so after checking that there are no more errors in our program, We can now add more columns. We can add more data to our program.